And what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 2022 running of the Nascar New Year's Eve Spectacular from the Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona Beach, Florida. It should be a good one here tonight as we wrap up what has been a very much an eventful 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season with a dash for the race under the lights. We got a good one on hand tonight. 24 drivers in the field, past winners of the event as well as winners from the 2022 season, including exhibition races, ready to duke it out for the $1 million grand prize under the lights here tonight. Should be good under Saturday night racing on the high banks. Should be a great one. We got a lot of stuff to talk about throughout the race, lots of stuff to catch up on throughout the 2022 season. Let's read off the starting lineup so that the field can get going here. On the front row, Ross Chastain sneaking the pole with Denny Hamlin in second. Kevin Harvick and Ryan Blaney in row number 2. Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick in row number 3. Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch in row number 4. William Byron, Chase Elliott in row 5. Champion Joey Logano and Eric Jones are in row number 6. Bubba Wallace and Christopher Buescher in row 7. Daniel Suarez and Austin Cindric are in row 8. Row 9, Chase Briscoe and AJ Allmendinger, the defending winner of the event. Christopher Bell and Alex Bowman are in row 10. Row 11 is Kurt Busch making his last Cup start in full-time action. Sitting next to Austin Dillon, that is in row number 11. And rounding out the field, Brad Keselowski, and making his valiant return to NASCAR this year, Greg Biffle. Let's get it going. Here we go. Should be a good one here under the lights tonight. Lots of stories to talk about. Like I said, Kurt Busch making his final Cup start. Able to come back from that concussion he suffered at Pocono. But did say that this was going to be his last race. Did secure a win to lock him in. AJ Allmendinger, can he defend his victory in 2021? Here with this new next-gen car. Should be a good one here tonight. So getting ready for the field to roll off. Ross Chastain, one of the big stars of 2022, locking up the pole. It was a valiant effort. Getting final preparations ready here under the lights. Second largest field in the race's history, 24 drivers, tied with 2007 for second most ever. Lots of new winners this season. 19 new winners, plus 2 drivers who won exclusively exhibition races, and then 3 past champions of the event having to use their champions provisional. One of them, of course, being Greg Biffle. Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney having to use the exhibition wins to lock themselves in. Getting ready to go now. And here we go. And here we go. Field rolling. Out of turn 4. Pace car getting ready. We will take you through, sorry for the technical difficulties, we will take you through lots of all the storylines that are happening tonight. Lots of stuff. Pace cars pulled off, however, and Chastain and Hamlin, arch rivals, will lead them down to the green flag, and we are set. Green flag in the air. We are racing here at Daytona. folks, we are back. It's like Christopher Bell has claimed the lead here as we get down into it. Coming around to complete 7 laps out of 80. We'll need to make at least probably 2 stops, though I think many will try and stretch it to 1. But Bell out front early. What is his second consecutive appearance in the New Year's Eve Spectacular? There is Kurt Busch in the 45 car. Moving into second spot. Kurt again making his final Cup start. Kurt not a winner in this event. He needed that win back in early in the season before his to lock himself into this event. Same with Austin Dillon, who has now moved into the 3rd spot. And Chase Elliott, who won the most races in 2022 with 5 wins, is in 4th spot with his teammates. 2021 Cup champion Kyle Larson in 4th position. Larson also a past champion of this event, winning in 2018. Christopher Buescher winning at the Bristol Night Race, as well as winning a dual race here in Daytona back in February, moving under Kurt Busch. And as we see many times again, we see a lot of these 2-line action with more of a conveyor belt style. Some thought maybe that would come to an end with the new car, the Gen 7 car, or the next gen cars, a lot of people have been calling it, but it seems like it has still been working, at least here in the early going, as we see Larson moving underneath Bell to try and take the lead, with help from defending winner of this race, Adrian, who was one of only 3 drivers that needed to use his champion's provisional to get himself into the race tonight. The other 2 being Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr., who had a very tough 2022 season. Despite being in the top 5 in the points, missed the playoffs. Lots of very tough defeats there for the 19 team. That could be a race with a nice $1 million check. And a trip to victory lane to end off 2022. Getting help from his teammate Kyle Busch, who will no longer be with Joe Gibbs after this race. Another one of the big last race for Kyle Busch at Joe Gibbs Racing, moving over to RCR in the 8 car next year, as well as his sponsorship M&M's leaving NASCAR in general after the 2022 after this race. Sad to see a lot of great M&M schemes over the years. It'll be sad to see them go. Back up front now, Larson, Allmendinger, now Eric Jones, Southern 500 winner this year, making his 2nd appearance in the New Year's Eve Spectacular. Diving underneath Allmendinger to go for 2nd with help from Ryan Blaney. Now let's talk about this next gen car, Gen 7 next gen, a lot of people are calling it. Definitely had a lot of rough kinks to figure out. Mechanical failures, tire failures, engine failures were a big thing. A lot of the big things, though, included also safety. People really getting on the case for the next gen car for being the reason of the end of the career for Kurt Busch. They almost had a collision there between Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson, and it will be Ryan Blaney going to the front with help from Tyler Reddick. Truex Jr. I'm sorry, because Kurt Busch back at Pocono, you guys remember? Qualifying accident. He caused a concussion and missed the remainder of the points-paying part of the season. Race. Also had problems for Alex Bowman at Texas late in the season as well. Took him out of the chance for moving on in the next round of the playoffs. So safety, a big concern and also a big working point for NASCAR since the Phoenix race back in November. And they will been already at the drawing boards. A little bit of modifications made tonight, but not a whole lot. We'll see if they make any, see what further modifications are made going into 2023. This being the first year of the car. Wasn't all bad though. I mean, we see a lot of great races at some tracks that had not provided a lot of great racing in the last few years. Think back to the aforementioned Pocono races were really good. Atlanta, with its brand new configuration, provided some pretty great races as well. MIS, Michigan, its lone race was One to remember for. Speaking of MIS, this year's MIS winner, Kevin Harvick, ducking low to take the lead from Ryan Blaney, help from Brad Keselowski, who had a pretty down 2022 season for his standards in his first year with RFK Racing in the 6 car. Now partial owner of with RFK. Started off strong, won a dual race back in February, which qualified him in for this event. But other than that, not much to speak of for the 6th team this season. Maybe getting back some of that early season magic here at Daytona, maybe secure a win. It's been since 2016 since former RFK Racing saw victory lane in this event with Greg Biffle, who is a 2-time winner of this event. And the Biff back in this race for the first time since 2016. Currently hanging back in the 24th position. But Biffle decided to run the Daytona 500. And with that champion's provisional, he was able to lock himself into tonight's race. Congratulations, Biffle. Maybe gets some hanging back right now, but we'll see if he can make any runs at it a little bit later on. Kyle Busch again. A lot of drama with the 18 team, with Kyle Busch and Joe Gibbs and everything, with the negotiations that were going on. Really derailed a lot of the energy Busch could have put into making a title run this year. It was definitely a year of bad luck for Kyle Busch, especially when it came to his time in the playoffs in the first round. DNF after DNF, really, the engine failures just plagued him for the later part of the season. All the focus was on him switching teams, who he was going to go with, what was going on behind the scenes. A lot of people were just not knowing what was going on. It took a lot of the focus away from the team, but you know, what a cool way it would be to go off with a bang with a win here tonight. And Bubba Wallace now up front, fellow Toyota driver. Bubba making his second consecutive appearance in this race as well. It was a bizarre year for 2311 and Bubba as well this season. Started off in the 23 car with Kurt in the 45, but Bubba switched from the 23 to the 45 late once the playoffs began, so that they can contend for the Owners' Championship, which gave some time for some other prospects, including Ty Gibbs, to run the 45 for the remainder of the season. But that's where Wallace got his lone win, was actually in the 45 car at Kansas early in the playoffs. But since Kurt is back in the 45, he has decided to go back into the 23, and that's why he is in the 23. Bubba getting his second career win this year at Kansas, and his first last year at the rain-shortened fall Talladega race. So does have a super speedway win under his belt. We track that on to maybe a possible victory tonight, as we see another lead change. Daniel Suarez in the 99 car going to the inside. This is Daniel Suarez's actually second appearance in this race, but first since 2017 when he was with Joe Gibbs in the 19 car. Suarez got his first official career win at Sonoma back in June. A great year it was, not just for Suarez, who qualified for the playoffs and was actually pretty competitive all season, had a great season, but also for Trackhouse Racing with Ross Chastain, who put on a dominant performance and was just dominant season. 2 wins, made it all the way to the Final Four. Came up just short, but it was still a great season for this team in just their second year of competition. And the ceiling is far high above them. Lots of potential still to reach, with Chastain and Suarez still haven't reached their peak, I think, and their potential. I think they definitely have a lot to work on and grow upon as the season goes on. So it should be a good one there. Austin Cindric, the Daytona 500 champion, Austin Cindric, was in second, now getting passed by trio of Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, the 2022 Cup Series champion, his second championship, and Chase Elliott as well. Now Logano going under Kyle Busch as Suarez continues to lead. 19 of 80 laps complete, and we're not getting near that time just yet, but we will be seeing pit stops eventually. And as we've seen in past years, pit stops has always been where the race is won and lost, especially with this race not being very notorious for having a lot of caution flags. You're going to see a lot of pit stops come down to it. Fuel mileage is always a big factor, as we've seen in many past years. I don't have any doubt that even with this new car and the large amount of cars in the field, that we will see anything different tonight. Lots going on there too. So we are now a quarter of the way done here at the New Year's Spectacular. Logano, Elliott, Dillon, Truex, and Harvick the top five. Miguel Harvick had a big career resurgence this year, I would say. Was pretty much dead for nothing, nearing the playoffs, and then racks off back-to-back dominating wins at Michigan and Richmond to get himself in the playoffs and even give himself a little bit of momentum. That did flame out eventually, but it's a little bit of light, a little bit of hope in the category for the 4 team. As he indicates that 2023 will be his final season in the Cup Series full time. Harvick been racing since 2001 in the Cup Series. No official announcement has really been made, but it's all but confirmed in that regard. So Harvick also is a former winner of the New Year's Eve Spectacular. So Chase Elliott continuing to lead. A lot of controversy around Chase Elliott, mostly because of his fan base. But he had a great season. 5 wins, I should say. Sorry about that. 5 wins. Big one. "22 laps complete now, and we are actually going to go to a slight commercial break. I'm going to go off for a little bit, and we will be back as we loom towards pit stops. Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, and Martin Truex Jr., your top 5 near Daytona. Welcome back to the 2022 NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular from the Daytona International Speedway. We have a new leader, William Byron, actually about to get passed by Chase Briscoe. Briscoe, in his first ever New Year's Eve Spectacular appearance, made it all the way to the round of 8 in the playoffs after just a singular win at Phoenix early in the season. Definitely a step in the right direction, though, for the Stewart-Haas number 14 team, as he now takes the lead with Chris Buescher, and 3 wide for third. Kurt Busch looks like he's going to prevail there. Austin Dillon and Ross Chastain side by side for 5th, and a 3 wide action in the middle of the pack with Martin Truex. Albert Ross and William Byron sandwiching him in there. Denny Hamlin as well. The Gibbs cars, Toyotas in general, have proven to be a very, very, very competitive and fast cars here early on. And I do not anticipate that will stop anytime soon. The Fords also have been very, very competitive. The Chevys not so much. We're seeing a little bit of them peeking in and out. We've seen a couple of them do some stuff, but it's mainly been the Fords and Toyotas here early on. With one out front now, and then 2 Toyotas before another Ford and Toyota in the top 5. First Chevys. So Austin Dillon and Daniel Suarez, I believe Daniel Suarez, the only Chevy to lead other than Ross Chastain, who led us to the green flag early on. Alright folks, we're going to step aside real quick. We're going to get you back though for the pit stops here on the Pringleson Racing Network. And welcome back, everybody, to the 2022 NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular. Now, Christopher Bell back up front in the DeWalt number 20 machine for Joe Gibbs Racing. Closing in on halfway here at the Daytona International Speedway with Christopher Buescher, William Byron, Austin Cindric. Looks like Mark Truex Jr. sneaking in there back into the top 5. Pit stops coming up shortly. We actually saw some breakup in the pack. Greg Biffle stuck on pit road in the 44 car. We've seen a few other drivers make it to pit road, including our leader when we went to commercial break, Chase Briscoe, here with Austin Dillon and Ryan Blaney. They have lost the draft, and that is a big no-no when it comes to Daytona and Talladega. Kevin Harvick also starting to lose the draft there. As we see, I think the car is starting to get ready to peel off the pit road, and yes, here we go, including the leader, Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, and somebody behind Harvick coming into the pits as well. That'd be Ryan Blaney. It's like Chase Briscoe. A lot of cars coming in now. Kurt Busch among them as well. A lot of cars pitting. Getting service here. Trying to make this their only stop of the evening, but this is a little early to make this your one stop. It's like Bell wins the race off pit road with all these drivers. Pretty big gaggle to work with there. Bubba Wallace a part of them as well. So everybody else getting back onto the track. And it looks like we got trouble for Byron, who may have blown a tire. So he's coming into pit road. Now he's getting back onto the racetrack here. Over the beautiful skyline. We see lots of cars coming in now. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Reddick. It's like Austin Cindric's going to beat them all off of pit road, however, followed by Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, then Denny Hamlin. And a lot of cars came in there. Allmendinger. And everybody coming off of pit road there. And we'll try and rejoin the field. It looks like Christopher Bell is going to default as the race leader here again. Currently scored 14th, but looks like he's just got to pass Cindric. Cindric might come out as the race leaders. We are past halfway. Oh, Chase Elliott made the pass there. And it does look like Cindric might hold the lead. He has currently scored the leader in this 4-car gaggle. Comes around turn 4. Let's see if he is still scored as the race leader. Chase Elliott actually makes the pass underneath. And yes, Austin Cindric, the Daytona 500 champion, who did not really have that great of a season after that win in the 500, did make the playoffs. Rookie season. Good pit stop for the 2 team. He joins the leaders, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, and Christopher Bell up front. I'm going to wait a little bit here because I believe everybody will regroup as pit stops are complete for now. We will see if any more are made when we get down to the very end of this race, or some drivers going to try and strategize, utilize the draft, and try and stretch the fuel load to make it to the end of this race. Nobody is challenging these guys anytime soon. There's absolutely... This is the second gaggle right here, including Greg Biffle, who has fallen a lap down in 23rd position. Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Daniel Suarez. That's 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And it looks like Ryan Blaney also in this group, with Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace as well, and Chase Briscoe have all joined in this group, and they will have to try and work together to run down the 4 leaders, barring that there is no caution flag. And it looks like Kurt Busch has exited the race. Tough break for the 45 crew. In his final start in the Cup Series, Kurt Busch looks like to be the first car out of tonight's race. That will leave 23 drivers running, 22 on the lead lap. Greg Biffle a lap down in the 44 machine. Tough break there. Kurt Busch, storied career, for sure Hall of Famer, Cup champion, 500 champion. Tough break there. What happened to him? Get ready. For the end of this one. Alright, pit stops complete. Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, and Christopher Bell leading the way here at the Daytona International Speedway. We will take another quick break and be back to you shortly. And welcome back, everybody, to the NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular from the Daytona International Speedway. 50 laps down, still 30 to go here at Daytona. Chase Elliott's still up front. Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell is still running 1, 2, 3, 4 unchallenged. Possible final pit stop still on the way. So we get moving along here. Should take you to the end of this race commercial free from here on out. And it's been a good one here in 2022. Lots to look forward to as well in 2023. One of the big ones, the return of North Wilkesboro Speedway, set to host the All-Star race this year, making its vibrant return to NASCAR. First time since 1996 they will host a race. I think a lot of fans are really looking forward to that. Also, the debut of the Chicago Street Course coming next June, or next July. That's next July. Should be a lot of fun there as well. Should be a lot of fun with all new drivers and all new teams as well. We're going to see Kyle Busch, like we said, already in a new team. Ty Gibbs as well, and coming up to NASCAR, should be full-time in the Cup Series. A lot of other amazing changes. And we already talked about the final season possibly in 2023 for Kevin Harvick. We'll see if anybody else follows suit, but definitely a lot to look forward to for sure. And it should be a very exciting 2023. You know, there's a lot of people that are hoping for a lot of stuff to build off of with the safety of the new car and everything, and you know, only time will tell how that goes, but it'll definitely go better, I believe. I think everybody in the Pringles Sun Racing Network and in NASCAR in general can say the same as well. Chase Elliott still up front, 53 complete now, down to 27 to go. Austin Cindric and Chase Elliott kind of breaking away as Christopher Bell and Joey Logano were side by side there for a second, kind of lost a little bit of ground. They're back single file, running third and fourth respectively. Still no sign of any of the other second group of cars. Still kind of all gaggled right here, minus Greg Biffle. Ryan Blaney, after being out of the draft and almost falling a lap down, up back inside the top 5. But if this group is going to have any shot at catching the leaders, they are going to need either a caution or to single file up and get moving. The leaders are running away with this thing. See that the other group was entering turn 1. These guys are on the back stretch. That's the distance right now. And of course, pit stops could change that, but definitely possibility will present itself here. As Logano moves into second. Take a look at some of our cool, different camera angles. We get a big one across here, across Daytona, and there's the distance. You can see leaders going into turn 1. Other group, you'll see them just barely out of view. So they go into turn 1 just now. They've got a lot of distance to catch up as far as the rest of this group. Kyle Busch looks like the end of this group in 12th position. And here's another gaggle of cars behind them, led by Denny Hamlin. Truex in this group with Eric Jones and Brad Keselowski and Greg Biffle. And then finally behind them, another group of cars with Reddick, Bowman, Buescher, and Allmendinger. So that's your group of cars right now. Everybody kind of spread out into their own pockets of groups of cars at the moment. So we got try and figure out the official running order right now. Still, Biffle 23rd, trying to figure out who is 22nd right at this very moment here. Kurt Busch again out of the race. Tough break for them. Daniel Suarez up in the top 10. A great run for the 99 team. All good things, all good things. And then these guys have seemingly lost the draft. The last two cars on the lead lap, teammates William Byron and Kyle Larson. It's only a matter of time before they get lapped, and that it could actually help the second group of cars, and really the rest of the field, to lock back down on the leaders and bring this pack back together. But Larson and Byron are in need of a caution flag if they are going to have any shot at winning this thing, because the two cars just they can't do anything together. They're significantly slower than the leaders. No way that's even possible that will happen. We're chasing lots of good stuff. A lot of first-timers in this event. I think we mentioned a few of them. Austin Cindric is one of them. In the two-car, Ross Chastain also making his first appearance, tonight's pole sitter. Tyler Reddick, who started 6th, also making his debut in this race. Same with Daniel Suarez. Already mentioned Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe as well. Those are all of your first timers tonight. 5 of them. Drivers making their last career start. We already talked about Kurt Busch and everything there. Unknown if Greg Biffle will try and run a race again in 2023 or not. Like I said, Kevin Harvick set to the 2023 be his last. So not his final start tonight, most likely, barring something catastrophic, but could be one of the first. These 4 guys right here holding on to their spot. And all that can really stop them at this point are a caution or the pits. It's pretty likely, especially Chase Elliott, who has led a lot of this segment of the race, will most likely need to make a pit stop, as he is running some of his fastest times of the night. Seeing your top right there, only just shy of his fastest lap of the night, that last lap, and he is really close. They pitted about 41 to go. Did Elliott. He pitted about 41 to go. Another group behind them pitted about a lap later. And a caution would throw all that out the window. Everybody would definitely try and make a pit stop, or at least be able to save some fuel under caution, enough to get them another lap or so. Across the line now. 16 laps to go. And all four of these drivers up here, Elliott, Logano, Bell, and Cindric, never won the New Year's Eve Spectacular. Remember, you win this race, you are in all future New Year's Eve Spectacular events, barring you do run at least one points-paying race. One race in the next season, during the season. You are locked in. Plus the $1 million, plus the win, plus the momentum, the bragging, and all that can come with the trip to victory lane, even if it is just for the money, no points or any championships or anything. Get a trophy, get everything. So, still a lot at stake tonight. $15 to go now. Closing in on the finish. Finish of this race. Let's check in and see what the distance is now. And it doesn't really seem like that second group of cars has really made any advancements whatsoever. This front group right here seems to, I mean, look at this. They're side by side, not really doing anything to help their case here. Switching in and out. At this point, they're going to need a catastrophic failure on pit road, or a good pit strategy, or the fact that they can just go without pitting to even have a shot at this, or a caution, obviously, would put them in a chance to win it. But they're just not working together at all to even help their case whatsoever. Taking themselves pretty much out of contention, all fighting for, at best, a top 5 finish. For some, most are going to get a top 10 instead. Some won't even get that out of tonight. Check back up front here. Nice, number 69. These four who have just basically just been sitting here, running single file the entire time, to be able to gain ground on the leaders. Nobody really jumping out yet. It's come down to 11 to go. You have to think those Penske teammates, Logano and Cindric, will try to work together in some capacity. You do also have 3 of the final 4 for the playoffs in this little group right here with Elliott, Logano, and Bell. All 4 of them did make the playoffs as well. Check in and see if any possibility of lapped traffic. They're closing in, but it looks like as far as that's concerned, they should be fine, seeing they will have to make a trip to pit road. I don't know, that's Larson and Byron's running side by side here will slow them down. And their teammate Elliott leading the way. It's pretty self-explanatory that they could possibly get out of the way and just let him go. As we see the move and the pass here. Christopher Bell going underneath Logano. That is for second. Cindric going with Bell to take third. And that will put the Penske teammates together in third and fourth. With only 10 laps to go, coming up to single digits. Laps remaining. Yeah, this is going to be a race between these 4 at this point. Yes, here we go. Austin Cindric moving underneath Christopher Bell. That is for second. Logano going to go up and actually help Bell now duck back down with Cindric. Take third back. And all that time, Elliott putting a little bit of distance between him and Cindric. But on the plate tracks, that is never something you want to do, because even with this small group of cars, the group will run you down pretty fast. Never want to actually try and build the distance. Logano moving underneath Cindric again. That is for second spot. Now 8 laps to go. Again, does Chase Elliott have... Oh, here we go. Underneath. Joey Logano going underneath Chase Elliott, and he is going to take the lead from the 9 car with did it all by himself. He'll bring his teammate underneath with him. Bell's also going to go underneath. Chase Elliott, who has dominated this last part of the race, has lost the lead, is going to fall to 4th. Joey Logano, the Cup champion, moving into the lead. As we come around, it will be coming to 7 laps to go. It's very, very rare that the Cup champion wins the New Year's Eve Spectacular in the same year. Don't believe that has ever happened in the history of this event, but it could happen tonight. Happened back in for 10 years. It's been 10 years since that has happened. Brad Keselowski did it back in 2012, driving for Penske Racing. He won the Cup Championship and the New Year's Eve Spectacular in the same year. Now Joey Logano could possibly do that again for Penske and get his first ever New Year's Eve Spectacular victory. With now 6 laps to go, as Chase Elliott trying to make a late rally backup for the win, going underneath Cindric for second. He's going to try. He's been so good all season. Will these guys be any factor? Will the lapped cars be any factor? I guess they're not lapped cars yet. They will be shortly. As we see, pass for the lead. Pass for the lead in turn 3. Chase Elliott making the rally back underneath. He's going to take the lead back from Joey Logano as they come to 5 laps to go. Chase Elliott, the 2020 Cup champion, never won the New Year's Eve Spectacular, will take the lead back. It's been since 2015 that Hendrick Motorsports has seen this victory lane, with Jimmy Johnson in 2015. Jimmy Johnson will be coming back and running a part-time schedule next year. He will be eligible to run the New Year's Eve Spectacular, because if he does make at least one start. Speaking of the lead, here comes Joey Logano back underneath Bell and Cindric going with him. Swapping of the lead guard here, with Logano going back up front. 4 laps left in the New Year's Eve Spectacular here in 2022. Doesn't seem like the lapped cars will be any factor with these guys all starting to jostle around and switch spots, and those guys run single file. Now sitting in the catbird seat is Christopher Bell, the clutch man of the season, winning at the Roval and at Martinsville in both in elimination style scenarios to move on to the final 4. But he's now getting passed by Bell as Chase Elliott went really wide. Uh-oh, what's happening? The 20's on pit road. 20. Oh no, Christopher Bell has to pit, taking himself out of contention. Got a tire down possibly, but it might be for fuel. He was one of the early pitters. Heartbreaker for that Joe Gibbs Racing team, as it now comes down to the Penske duo of Logano and Cindric and the Hendrick car of Chase Elliott, who is single-handedly trying to pass the rookie for second, and it looks like he's gonna do it. Unbelievable. They will come around this time to 2 laps to go, and it really brings into question who's got enough gas for this. With Bell taking himself out via pitting, 2 to go in 2022. Greg Biffle off track, out of the way, coming out of pit road. It's obvious a lot of drivers did not fully calculate gas. How did these leaders do it? Elliott sandwiched in between the 2 Roger Penske machines as they come into turn 3. Oh, we got a lap car. Kevin Harvick had to pit, and he'll set the pick. That will take Cindric out of it. Blocked Cindric, and Joey Logano will use that as a side draft to run away with it here at the white flag. Last lap in 2022. Logano, Elliott, Harvick blocks Cindric, takes him out of contention, and Elliott's losing the draft fast. And Logano is out all alone. He can lose it or win it himself. Down the back straightaway for the final time for Joey Logano. Elliott looks like he might have a fuel issue or something. He is slowing down, paving the way for Joey Logano. He rounds turn 4. Coming to the checkered flag, Joey Logano is the winner of the 2022 NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular. What a way to end the season. The Cup champion and the winner of the race. He has done it. $1 million to him and his Penske team. Congratulations to Joey Logano. Here's our official final standings, ladies and gentlemen. Logano winning the race. Austin Cindric, Chase Elliott finishing 3rd. Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain getting top 5 finishes as well. Chase Briscoe, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch rounding out the top 10. Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick, AJ Allmendinger, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Buescher, Christopher Bell, after a horrible break, having to pit from the top 5 late in the race. William Byron, Kyle Larson barely, still finishing on the lead lap. Kevin Harvick getting stuck a lap down. Greg Biffle, disappointing evening, finished 5 laps down, 23rd. And the cause of the exit for Kurt Busch was a piston engine failure, finishing in dead last, 24th position. Congratulations again to Joey Logano. He is your 2022 NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular champion and will be the first of many to lock his way into the 2023 event here next year at the Daytona International Speedway. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight here under the lights. It was a great race, a great finish, lots of great racing, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And that's it. So long from the Pringle Racing Network here in 2022. We will see you back here in Daytona for 2023. Can't wait to see who's in. Logano will be there. Who else will join him? We'll find out over the course of the next NASCAR Cup Series season. And so, for the last time, this is Pringleson, signing off.